What up, YouTube? What up, what up, what up? And the hits just keep coming and keep coming while I'm uploading a video about Joe Biden calling this lady a dog face, whatever, ponytail, pony show, whatever, dog and pony show, whatever. We get the news that Mayor Pete attacks Bernie Sanders' revolution theory and get booed like never before. This dude is not a thing. I really believe this guy is not being propped up to be the Democratic nominee. I believe this guy is being propped up to be the DNC chair. He ran for DNC chair and lost. Keith Ellison was beating him, but in order to stop Keith Ellison, Obama had to put his thumb on the scale, rigging that election, getting people to turn against Keith and to go with Tom Perez, probably with a little perks to go with it. You never know. That's why I don't understand how my people just fall in love with Barack Obama and he just smile in their face and they don't know what's going on behind this guy. It's the same thing with Donald Trump. They love Donald Trump, but don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You got to stop falling for these political messiahs. That's why I'm not 100% bought into Bernie Sanders. That yes, he got good policies, and yes, he seems like a good kind guy, and he has a great record. But I'm not putting 100% faith in him either. I am not putting 100% faith in no man. I don't care how great they are, because you don't know what people do once they hit that position. I remember back in the day, Howard Dean won the Iowa caucus. Was it the Iowa caucus or New Hampshire? One of the two. And then he said, look, we're going to take this thing all the way. And he was the grassroots. He was the Bernie Sanders of the party at that time. He was the leftist. Guess what he's doing now? Pharmaceutical lobbyists. I don't trust these people, man. I don't trust these people, and you shouldn't either. You put as much faith as them as you can, but always have that hint of doubt. Always have that opportunity that I'm watching you, dog. I'm not just automatically believe that putting you in office, life is going to be peaches and cream. No. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. I don't give a crap who your name is. Because Obama did that same mess and got everybody to buy into him. And then when it came to doing for the people, especially black people, he pretty much put the fingers in the air like a bird. Put the fingers in the air. He ice cubed us. Well, let's get into it. Rival attacks Buttigieg with the urgency as New Hampshire votes near. Rivals attack Buttigieg. No, Buttigieg attacked itself, number one, by foolishly declaring himself the winner when he did not win this thing. How you foolishly declare yourself a winner when there was no winner declared? And how do you foolishly think you won something just on delegates alone when the other person got millions or more votes than you? This is not the general where you have to win the states. You have to win the states. You have to win the states. It ain't got nothing to do with delegates. You got to win the states in order to get the electoral college on your side. You got to win the states. And Donald Trump won more states than Hillary Clinton. That's the bottom line. I don't care if she do got more numbers. And in this case, Bernie Sanders had more numbers on the first two phases, and he had just as much delegate numbers as Pete Buttigieg. And I really believe he had more. But they don't want to talk about it. As soon as they get a chance to, as soon as Bernie start taking the equal and start getting in the leads, they want to try to pull the plug. Man, the DNC need to get rid of Tom. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to get rid of Tom Perez. Win, lose, or draw, Pete Buttigieg is going to have a place in the Democratic National Committee. I believe he will take over the DNC, and he's going to run it based on electronic app-based, no paper trail formula, which is the worst thing for democracy. It's the worst thing for people who are running for office, and we can't have that. We can't have that. But here it is. Let's read this. Manchester, New Hampshire. Rivals of presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg move with urgency here Sunday to slow the momentum, sharply critiquing his struggles with no white votes, lack of government experience, and indebtedness to wealthy donors. So what they're trying to say is these guys are attacking him. Number one, this was an open meeting. Pete Buttigieg spoke there. I think Elizabeth Warren spoke there. I don't know if Bernie Sanders spoke there, but I think it was an open platform for candidates to speak. So you can't say rivals. That's the problem with America. Either you're making people your enemy, people your rivals. At the end of the day, they're still Americans. So here we got Pete Buttigieg get on the stage and does his speech. And he says something that offended the audience. And you got the nerves to call them a rivals. It's not a rival. I'm still on your team. I'm Team Democrat, but man, you can't. And so the work we're doing, we're trying to revolutionize America, and then you come spit in our face and you call us rivals? You call us and what we're doing a waste of our time, that we don't need that? We don't need a revolution. Everything is divisive. We don't need a revolution. We got to come together. You come here talking that bull when we're trying to change this whole entire government. We're trying to change America. So you're going to spit in the face of our hard work as voters, hitting the trail, knocking on doors, making phone calls, meeting with people in the mall, in the snow, in the rain, trying to put this country in a position where we can revolutionize it, where it can do more for us than them. Not saying we're not going to do nothing for them, but this country needs to start working more for the many than the few. Shout out to Jared Corbett. The 38-year-old former mayor of South Bend, a horrible mayor at that when it comes to dealing with average, ordinary people. Great mayor for corporate elites, especially those in the real estate industry who's trying to gentrify everything and push black people out of their neighborhoods. The 38-year-old former mayor of South Bend, who is consistently polling at the top of the field here. Yeah, you rigged that. And again, guys, when you go look at that polling, you got to understand what pollings they're using. Corporate-centric, media-leaning Democratic polls will always have Pete Buttigieg polling good, when he really isn't. I really don't believe he's polling that well. I think this is manufacturing consent. At the same time, manufacturing dissent. I strongly believe, how this man gonna come out of nowhere and do better than Tulsi Gabbard? I don't understand. Because they're selective in their polling. But let me continue to do this. Pete Buttigieg is consistently polling at the top of the field here, just behind Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. Jabbed back. He jabbed back. Jabbed back at who? He emerged on all 5 of the Sunday morning political talk shows, the only candidate to do so. Why? Because he's desperate. He got to get his name out there. He's desperate because he know New Hampshire is going to be a real knockout blow to him, because he ain't getting no independence. And he ain't getting, people smart. He got to get his word out. He got to spin a narrative to counter the fact that Bernie Sanders really won that thing and really is posed to win New Hampshire. And if Bernie is locking in the next 3 states, he is out. The only candidate to do so, to go through all the Sunday morning shows where he made the case that the movement to stop him embodied an arrogant Washington mindset, turning voters against Democrats. So he's trying to basically saying, these people who are resisting me, this is proof that there's division going on, and we can't elect somebody who's dividing. It ain't got nothing to do with the person. It got to do with you and your crappy campaign and your corporate-centric raise, and you sucking up the donors and thinking that you shouldn't have to answer to that with the American public. That's what this has to do with it. It's the fact that you're trying to capitalize on a cheapest win that you thought you won in the cheapest way, in an ignorant, arrogant, fashionistic way, declaring yourself a winner when nobody declared yourself a winner, and trying to pretty much thumb your finger up in the nose of Bernie Sanders and his political supporter and his people and the political movement. Who's voting for this dude? Policies are crap. This guy, man, I'm telling you, people like him, people like Trump, people like Joe Biden, I mean, these elitists, man. He's another elitist, another Harvard Rhodes Scholar elitist, just like they don't care about regular people. And let me keep going through this whole process. I'm trying to read and I ain't got my glasses. He jabbed back. He emerged on all 5 Sunday morning political talk shows, the only candidate to do so, where he made the case. How do you know he made the case? No, he probably tried to make the case. But the Hill is going to say he made the case. He made the case that the movement to stop him embodied an arrogant Washington mindset, turning voters against Democrats. So you're trying to say this opposition against you is an arrogant mindset coming from Washington, D.C., and it is turning voters against Democrats. Let me tell you something, bro. Democrats turn voters against them from the jump start. Bad enough the Republicans bad, but you got Democrats just as worse. Anytime you rig that freaking caucus, what do you think that's going to do? It's going to turn people away from the voting process. Last year in 2016, that whole thing turned people from the voting process. Neither one of these parties care about us. Neither. They'll care more about the gay man than the black man. They'll care more about the black woman than the black man. But not really. They don't care. They just want to use them for political points, to jockey position, to get votes, just so they can say, look at us, we win. And when they finally get in office, they ain't doing jack for it. That's why a lot of people saying no black agenda, no vote. Kiss my behind. You ain't using us. By the way, another T-shirt is going to be released called No Black Agenda, No Vote. And on the back of it, it say, try us. That's going to be up for sale too. So, again, these T-shirts are not to raise money. These T-shirts are to get a message out there that you better not take these votes for granted. Now let's get back on Pete Butti. We know that we might look small from our perspective of Washington. Dude, you are a son of Washington, D.C. You are a son. You're Pete Buttigieg. You're the mayor of South Bend, Indiana, who have done nothing for black people there. Matter of fact, you crapped on black people there. You did all these empty promises and did nothing in return for the black people. Matter of fact, you pushing the black people out of the neighborhoods in South Bend, out of the neighborhoods. The homelessness has went up in South Bend, and guess who is getting hit the worst? Black people. Mr. Rhodes Scholar, Mr. CIA operative. I'm telling you, this dude is getting propped up to be the next DNC chairman. Tom Perez don't want that job. Tom Perez is effing up the job, and they're gonna replace after this general election is over with, and they licking their wounds because they're putting themselves in a position where Trump is gonna beat them again. God, I hate saying that, but he's in a position where he's gonna beat them again, and then they're gonna be licking their wounds again, wondering what happened, and instead of keeping Tom Perez on, they're gonna put Pete on. And Pete is the reason why this thing happened. Now, let me keep going. We know that we might look small from our perspective of Washington, but for us, it is what is going on in Washington that is small and small-minded, Buttigieg said. He come with this perpendicular political talk. He said this on CNN's State of the Nation. He said communities in the industrial Midwest and rural Americas are frustrated being made into a punchline by Washington, D.C. politicians. Look, bruh, you think just because you are in the Midwest and you're a mayor, former mayor in the town of Midwest, that automatically it proves that you know how to win the Midwest. No, you won the mayorship because you shucked and jived the black community, and the black community believed you and voted for you, and then you turn around and stab them in the back. That is not a win, bruh. And you went around and did all you could to profit on the backs of black people in South Bend. Bad enough you got policing issues going on down there that you didn't want to address while you were mayor, and it was so embarrassing for you. You finally stood down. You finally decided it was a conflict of interest for you to run for president and your city is going through hell in a high water. But look, you stepping down don't change that. How you gonna run for president and you didn't do good by your city, by the people, but you expect to do that for most of America? It just ain't gonna happen, bro. Butti just said on CNN State of the Union that he said communities are in the industrial Midwest and rural America are frustrated by being made into the punchline of Washington, D.C. And you the biggest punchline, bro. You the biggest punchline. Because what the DNC is trying to do is prop up a mayor from the Midwest to make it seem like this is the guy to change the Midwest. And he's not. He's not. Much as I disagree with Trump, Trump is doing more for the Midwest than he will ever do. And I don't like that guy. And I don't like his policy. But he did pass a trade bill that's going to supposedly bring jobs back to the Midwest. What is Pete Buttigieg going to do? Wall Street Pete. That's what they called him in that arena today when he did his speech. Because he's going to crap on the people who's trying to revolutionize America, make it work for everybody. And he's going to tell them, we ain't got time for no revolution. Man, no, what we need is a freaking revolution, man. The same old ain't doing it. And that is what's dividing America. That's the problem is y'all really think putting the same old people, let's say we got rid of Trump. Hopefully we do. And you put in some of these same old people who ain't did nothing for us in the past 20 years. You put them in office all of a sudden, now Trump is out of office, they going to do something for us? No. Bottom line is still the same. They ain't going to do nothing for you. They just want a jockey position. We finally got rid of that fool. Now we got this person in office who's actually a fool, but he's not as foolish as that other fool. I don't want no fools. Well, Trump is evil, so let's get somebody a little lesser evil than Trump. I don't want nobody evil in office. And I'm telling you, this guy Pete Buttigieg is slimy. They call Elizabeth Warren the snake after what she did to Bernie Sanders, her longtime friend. But Pete Buttigieg is a snail. Not even a snail. He is more like a leech. I had a dream last night that I jumped in this pool and I came out. There was a whole bunch of leeches on me, sucking the blood out of me. And that's how I feel when I see Mayor Pete Buttigieg. Just sucking. Let me stop. I won't say that. That got a connotation on it because we know he's married to a dude and we know Mayor Pete is gay. So let me change that because I'm straight. All right. He's a snail. No, let me rephrase that. Pete Buttigieg is a leech. A leech job is to suck the blood, the life out of a person. Sometimes they have they have a purpose, but most of the purpose is just to drain you. And that is what Pete Buttigieg will do if he's the president. He will drain America. Not as fast as Trump, but he will drain America. Now let me keep going. Buttigieg was reportedly the step-up attacks led by former Vice President Joe Biden, who posted a new digital ad this weekend mocking Buttigieg's achievement in South Bend. He got every right to. Now, look, I'm not Joe Biden passed the most horrible policy, which he said he's proud of, since Jim Crow, and that was that crime bill. Which means if I stand next to somebody who got some drugs in their pocket, not only is he going to jail, I'm going to jail, and I don't even know he got the drugs. That 3 strikes, all that. That's it. 3rd strike, you ain't ever getting out. What, for stealing freaking steaks? I'm hungry. I stole a few steaks. You caught me 3 times. I got to go to jail for life? That's the crime bill. But Joe Biden has a right to call out Pete Buttigieg, just like Pete Buttigieg has a right to call out Joe Biden's record. That's what you do when you're campaigning. That's what you do when you're running for office. But for some reason, the Democratic Party is saying, don't shine light on people's record because Trump will be able to use it against them. Then they shouldn't be having horrible records. The doggone Republicans need to be looking at Trump. See, Trump called out those people's record. That's the whole point of campaigning. What you did in the past determine what you do in the future. And if you don't call out, you don't have to personally attack somebody, but I can call you out on your record. How you gonna say you pro-black just because you was with a black president? How you gonna say you pro-black and you got the worst bill since stop and frisk? 10 times worse than stop and frisk. That crime bill is still affecting the black community today. Still affecting it. I can go over my boy's house, smoke some weed, and I don't know he got a whole bunch of weed under his couch. I'm just sitting up there smoking weed, sitting on the couch. I don't know weed is in the couch. Police come in and I'm going to jail right along with them. And it's filling up the private prison, getting free labor off the backs of black people. That is what that crime bill did. So Pete Buttigieg, even though I don't, like I said, he's a leech. He has a right to call out Joe Biden on that. Joe Biden has a right to call out Pete Buttigieg on his record as South Bend mayor. How he drove black people out of the communities, how he conned and schemed them out of their property instead of giving them the money they needed to remodel their home, to bring up the value of the neighborhood. He allowed the wealthy, rich real estate people to buy them out, and they propped up these brand new houses. These people are homeless now. But yet y'all go, come on, man. So people just gonna get upset because Joe Biden run an ad on him. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to run an ad talking about your opponent. You ain't got to get personal with the ad, but you can talk about that record because you need to. See, this is the problem. That's why I said no slut voting in 2020. And when I mean no slut voting, that's my phrase, is that you got to get familiar with your candidate. You don't just go in there and you go in the booth and you write down all D's. You don't know what that Democrat will probably pass more. Look, Chuck Schumer fast-tracked 50 of Trump judges. But on TV, he got y'all thinking he's against Trump. On the record, he's voting right along with Trump policies. 50 judges fast-tracked. And you wonder why that judge threw out that emolument clause that they were trying to get on Trump. That judge was one of the judges that Chuck Schumer fast-tracked for Trump. Nancy Pelosi sitting up behind the thing, ripped Trump's speech, but at the same time, she passed his doggone military spending bill. She passed it. You don't go by what they do on TV. You go look at the freaking record. TV is TV. These people are WWE in front of y'all. It's called kayfabe. On TV, I hate your guts, but when the cameras are off, we're best of friends. That's how these politicians are. No, when I was younger, I went to see Dusty Rhodes versus Ric Flair at the Bayfront Center in St. Petersburg, Florida. I thought those guys hated each other. Me and my dad went to Shoney's to get some breakfast. And guess who pops up in the doggone Shoney's? Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair together, eating breakfast. Man, I was hurt. And some wrestling, they don't like that. I mean, you can't break kayfabe, man. Y'all got 24 hours a day. It got to seem like y'all hate each other in public. But back then, them dudes was having breakfast together. How y'all gonna bloody each other up, hate each other guts? You know, you got the Texas chain match where you got the chain on each other, and y'all beating each other down. But yet y'all coming in there eating breakfast, having a good time. Boy, I was devastated. I'm telling you, that's how these politicians are. I'm telling you, that's how they are. They kayfabe. On TV, they hate each other guts. But behind the scenes, they love it. Nancy Pelosi is worth $100 million. Trump tax bill benefits her. But it don't benefit me. It don't benefit you. Know why? Because I don't have a freaking $100 million. She do. And Pete Buttigieg has been propped up by Wall Street. That's why they call him Wall Street Pete. That's why they chanted that out. And he got mad at the voters for calling him Wall Street Pete. You know, I just did the video of Joe Biden got mad at the lady because she called him out for losing Iowa, but he's supposed to have been the front runner, but he lost Iowa to Bernie and Pete. And he get mad and call her a dog. A lying dog. It said Buttigieg was responding to Steps Up attack led by former Vice President Joe Biden, who posted a new digital ad this weekend mocking Buttigieg's achievement in South Bend. Biden also unleashed on the former mayor at a news conference Saturday, during which he said, "This guy's not Barack Obama." And that's what they try to make him seem like. They trying to prop Pete Buttigieg to be the gay white Obama. I'm tired of that, man. Obama is one of a kind. Leave the brother alone. You ain't gonna get another Obama. You tried to do that with what's his name, Beto O'Rourke, talking about he's the next Obama, and then he failed. Then you tried that with Kamala Harris, saying she's the female Barack Obama. That didn't work. That ain't failed. That failed. Now you're gonna do white gay Obama. You did it with Julian Castro, calling. Look, stop propping up these people. You're not gonna get another Obama. He's right, Buttigieg said on CNN. I am not, neither is he. Neither is any of us running for president. This is not 2008, it's 2020. And we're in a new moment calling for a different kind of leadership. We are facing the most disruptive president in modern times. I don't think the same playbook that happened, that helped us get here, is going to work against him. Track polls suggest that the critiques may be having effect, stalling his ascendancy as New Hampshire voters prepare to go to the polls Tuesday. But those reconsidering Buttigieg are not necessarily aligning with Biden, the candidate most aggressively attacking him, with the one who has arguably been here the most as Buttigieg began to dominate the centrist lane of the race following a strong showing in Iowa on Monday. Well, definitely, progressives are not lining up with Buttigieg. Buttigieg is lining up that third way, centric leaning, Center for American Progress. I call it trying to get you in the center for American digress. That's what I call it. Third way, the corporate centric, the Wall Street. He's that Wall Street Democrat. They're more concerned about the stock markets and things like that. They're like Republicans. I call them lightweight Republicans. They just happen to have a D next to them. People like Joe Manchin and all those guys who vote with Trump and vote with the Republicans the majority of the time, but yet want to holler that we're divided. While the race remains fluid, Biden is showing little signs of gaining ground. He stepped up efforts of reigniting his candidacy Sunday with an interview at ABC this week in which he repeatedly and pointedly critiqued Buttigieg. No one has ever won the nomination without being able to get overwhelming support from African American communities, Biden said. And so far, no one's been doing that but me. Biden, stop lying, man. Contrary to belief, Bernie Sanders is getting some support from the black community, especially the black immigrant communities. He's getting support from the Latino community. So he's getting a little more support when it comes to minorities, when it comes to blacks, when it comes to Latinos, people of color, Arabs, more than you. And black people are starting to find out about your record, bro, and you losing support. The former vice president continued to post strongly in more diverse states that vote after New Hampshire. Biden expressed bewilderment at how Buttigieg has painted him as a relic and unprepared for the realities of this political area. He's been saying that the reason we're in the problem right now is because of the recent past. The 8 years of Obama and me, I don't get that. I don't understand that. I think he has completely misunderstood and misrepresented my record. Biden then enlisted his work in managing the auto industry bailout, passing the chemical weapons treaty, and championing the Paris Accord to address climate change. I don't understand how those things don't matter, Biden said. What has he done? Who has he pulled together? The former vice president went on to take aim at the scant support of Buttigieg has among non-whites voters. He has been able to unify the black community, Biden said. He hasn't been able to unify the black community, Biden said, pointing to African-American councilmen in South Bend who endorsed Biden without even being asked to win. You're going to have to be able to win states like Pennsylvania. You're going to have to be able to win Florida. We're going to have to be able to win in a lot of places that, in fact, have very diverse population. And so the assertion that he's ready across the board, I don't see it. The increased tension in the race was evident as several candidates pivoted to avoid a weak showing in New Hampshire, which could be devastating to the White House aspiration. Biden also directed his fire at Sanders, warning the Vermont senator that identifying as a Democratic socialist could hurt Democrats down the ticket. You're going to win after that. You're going to win with that label. You're going to help somebody in Florida with that label, Democratic Socialist. Well, first of all, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders is not running on a Democratic Socialist label. He's running on a Democrat label. Not that that's any better. Running on a Republican label is not even better. But understand, the reason FDR had to put in term limits because he admitted to being a Democratic Socialist. Being a Democratic Socialist is not a disgusting thing anymore. Martin Luther King admitted that he was a Democratic Socialist. So as long as he messes that thing right, and as long as he let it be known that everybody is a socialist, and a socialist is a person who think that their tax dollars, their money should go to building a more socially equal society. Like FDR did. Like Martin Luther King did. So he's going to go around making people think, you ain't going to win with no Democratic Social Left. See, you sound just like those freaking Republicans. You sound just like those Republicans. The Republicans had to put in term limits because Democratic Socialist label with FDR was so strong. That man won so many freaking terms that they said, we got to figure out some kind of way to stop this brother. In downtown Manchester, the Democratic Party internal strain was on full display Saturday night as the candidates addressed an arena-sized crowd at the state party annual McIntyre Shaheen 100 Club dinner. Sanders supporters repeatedly chanted over Buttigieg as he addressed the crowd, booing him, calling him Wall Street Pete. Buttigieg backers volleyed their own chants when Sanders was speaking, boasting about the former mayor's success in Ohio. Now understand this. It's an arena. Just because somebody said Wall Street Pete don't mean all of them are Bernie Sanders supporters. Elizabeth Warren supporters was chanting that. Joe Biden supporters was chanting that. And probably low-key some of people chanting. You can't tag that on a particular person. You don't know what those persons who chant that actually believes. Now, there were a Sanders section. There was a Pete section. There was a Warren section. It gets like that. And yes, they're going to support that person. They're going to call out the other person. They have that freedom of speech. But he the one took the first shot. He took a shot at those supporters. Those supporters didn't take the shot at him. He the one went around and opened up his mouth saying, well, we're not going to change America with division. We need to bring the party together. Yeah, those people who calling for a revolution is talking about bringing America together. They're not focusing on party. My thing is, if the revolution takes the lead in winning this nomination, are you, Pete, going to side with the revolution? Are any of you going to side with the revolution? Are you going to continue to talk it down, or are you going to join it? But Sanders even attacked Buttigieg, arguing he would not be a champion of working people. Because how is that an attack? He just disagreed. It is not an attack. It's a disagreement. He's saying, look, I don't think Pete Buttigieg is going to be a champion of working people because he's too indebted to CEO donors. And he's right. You look at the list of donors. You think those donors want you... It's like Joe Biden taking money from these freaking union busters. Joe Biden's campaign is on record taking money from union busting organizations. But yet he want to go to the unions to get an endorsement. Dude, that's a conflict of interest. That's spitting in our face. That's backstabbing. How are you going to come to the union workers and ask for their support, but you're taking donations from the people who are antagonists against their mission? Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Sanders is right. He's taking all the CEO donations because he can't get money from people. Regular people are not funding his campaign, just like regular people are not funding Joe Biden campaign. Regular people funding Bernie Sanders campaign. Regular people funding Elizabeth Warren's campaign. That's documented. The records is there. Pete Buttigieg is doing these wealthy wine seller, big money campaigning, taking money from big donors. You think I'm going to give you $100,000 and I don't spec a play at the table? What do you think Trump did? You got people like Linda McMahon, who owner is Vince McMahon of the WWE, giving millions of dollars in the Trump campaign, and right now she sits on the board of small business of Trump administration. These people ain't giving you money just to be giving you money. This ain't like a church, I want to donate to the church because the church is doing good work. No, these people are giving money to these politicians because they want access. And these Wall Street donors are not giving Pete Buttigieg this money unless they believe Pete Buttigieg is going to give them access. And that's why those people in that crowd were saying Wall Street Pete. I call him Pete the Cheat. After I found out about the money he invested in that app that messed up that whole thing in Iowa, I said, this Pete trying to cheat. I'm telling you, Pete is not, they are not grooming Pete Buttigieg to be the president. They're grooming Pete Buttigieg to run the DNC after, and I hate to say this, God, I hate to say that, because the Democrats going to do it, man. They can't help themselves. They can't do things right. They're going to mess around and Trump's going to end up winning. And then they're going to say what happened. They're going to be licking their wounds. And they're going to try to so-called fix it again, which they're not. They're going to put Pete Buttigieg in charge of the DNC. They're going to get rid of Tom Perez. And Pete Buttigieg is going to run the DNC based on technology, which is the worst thing to do. All right, I'm done. I'm not going through this article anymore. You got a chance. You can continue to read it. Go sit on the toilet or whatever you need to do to finish reading the article. I'm not reading this article. But I read most of it. But look, guys, look. Pete is trying to cover up for his fake declaration of winning in Iowa. How do you declare yourself the winner when nobody declared a winner? And then they using that, the news media using that to try to get him a bump in New Hampshire. And it was successful. Now he got a little bump. He's trying to defend that bump because that bump is slipping now. Because Joe Biden is hitting them, Sanders is hitting them, Warren is hitting them, even Amy Klobuchar is hitting them because that stuff, it was foul. It was foul. I don't understand. I still don't understand how he's in the race. I mean, bad enough you got Bloomberg trying to buy his way in the race, but how is he in the race and Kamala Harris is not in the race? Cory Booker is not in the race. How is he there? I got more respect for Yang than Pete Buttigieg. I'm telling you, this guy is not a thing. He's a manufacturer. He's a manufacturing prop of the Democratic National Committee, Tom Perez, and the people that put him in those positions of power. He's part of that Neera Tanden, Robbie Mook, Karen Finney organization. He's part of that DC. I like to call it the Clinton Coat. He's part of that group, and he ain't gonna make it out of New Hampshire. Let me tell you something about New Hampshire before I go. New Hampshire is an open primary, which means the Democratic Party they'll try to control what happens there, but they can't. Anybody can vote. And to me, it should be like that cross country. Why do I have to be forced to join your party if I want to vote for somebody in your party? I don't want to join nothing unless it's going to benefit me. I mean, if I'm joining the health club, you know why I don't join a health club? Because I'm not going in to exercise. I'm lazy. And that's how I am. Why I'm going to join something that I'm not going to put my energy in? And that's how people feel about voting. Both parties have done both these people wrong. They promise and don't do anything for them. Yet here you got a person running for office, and I want to vote for them. I like that guy. I've seen his record. He's good. He'll be good for the country, but he's running in your party. And you going to force me to join your party just to vote for him? And then next thing you know, I'm getting all these letters asking for money. I just want to vote for the guy. Don't ask me for nothing. Well, in New Hampshire, it's an open primary. So you're going to have independents come out in big numbers. And guess what? Those independents is not coming out for Joe Biden. Those independents are definitely not coming out for Pete Buttigieg. Two people they're going to come out for, shockingly, Tulsi Gabbard is going to get a big bump. That's why Tulsi Gabbard is spending all her time in New Hampshire. That's why she's not on the debate stage, because she's taking her message to the people. And the one who's really going to blow it out is Bernie Sanders. I believe Bernie Sanders is going to blow it out Tuesday, as the winner. I believe Tulsi will shock people, and she'll probably come in maybe third place. Elizabeth Warren probably come in second. Joe Biden probably come in third. Pete Buttigieg ain't going to be on that level. And if he is, check to see if anything funny was going on. Anyway, I'm Rob Brown with the Rob Report, Rob on the go. This is America. This is America. Don't be fooled by these politicians. Don't you dare go slut voting. Get the time to know the people who running for office. Me, when I go in the vote, before I go in the voting booth, I want to know ahead of time who's on that ticket. I look on that ticket. I'm not going straight D. I used to do that when I was younger. I was naive, and that's dumb politics. Now, I get to know the people on the ballot, especially for my district. So what I do, if I find, like for an example, when I was living in the Bronx, Alexandria Cortez was on the ballot. I've seen Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez before she decided to run for office. So I know of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So I was comfortable voting. There was a couple of judges on the ballot. I didn't know nothing about those judges. So why am I going to go in the ballot booth and put a D down when I don't know them? So as I took time to get to know the judges, I seen some of the cases that they judged on, and I'm like, these judges, they Democrat, but look how many black people they put in jail for some of the dumbest reasons. I ain't vote for that person just because they're a Democrat. The Republican who was running for that seat had was a little bit more lenient when it came to black people and crime. So what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to go with the person who has the track record of being a little more anti-crime against blacks. That record of that particular judge was. See, you can't assume just because they're R or D, they're against you. They're not for you. You'll be shocked and surprised. Sometimes some Democrats are more against blacks than some Republicans. Everybody, labels don't make the person. It's the way they politic. It's the way they legislate. That's why you got to stop looking at these labels and you got to go look at their record. For an example, Bobby Scott in Virginia. I used to live in Virginia. Bobby Scott and Forbes. In that district where I lived at, Bobby Scott, the black man, didn't do nothing for his community. No money coming in, nothing. But yet, Forbes, a rich white man, poured more black money into the black community than the brother. The brother didn't even work hard to get money to go back into that community. Forbes, he tried to get the money and he was denied. So Forbes went in his own pocket and paid money into the black community. That's why I'm not looking at your label, I'm looking at you. I can care less whether you're Democratic, Independent, Republican. That stuff don't faze me. I've outgrown that. I realize some Democrats are just as bad as Republicans. Some Republicans are just as bad as Democrats. You got a few good in each one, but most of them are horrible. That's why this year my quote is no slut voting in 2020. You get to know your candidate. It's just like dating a girl. I mean, hey, look, you want to give me the goods the first night. Hey, that's on you. But don't expect me to marry you in another 90 days. So, it ain't gonna happen. I might want some more of the goods again. But you giving it up that easy that night, and then I come find out you got a habit of giving it up that easy. Guess what you're considered in my book? You're a slut. So I'm telling you, don't go out and give up your vote that freaking easy. Get to know your candidate, get to know their track record, and make them earn your vote. That's the problem with us as black people, man. We're giving our vote to these people. No, what you gonna do for us? What's your plan for the black community here in Mount Vernon? What's your plan for the black community here in Bronxville or Pelham? What are you gonna do for the blacks? And if you come with this hamana, you can't come off your tongue, get out my face. I ain't voting for you. But I'm a Democrat. That don't mean nothing. You don't have nothing planned for us. You just want my vote. I'm not a slut voter. I'm not gonna give you something for nothing. So guys, y'all can be a slut voter, man, I'm not. My vote have value. My vote is a valuable commodity, and you gotta earn it. You gotta earn it. You're not gonna get it easy. Tell me what you're gonna do for my people, man. My people are still struggling, dealing with this wealth gap, man. He's still dealing with the wealth gap. And you gonna tell me you want my vote and you're not gonna address the wealth gap? Man, come on, man. Come on. Come on, we gotta do better. No slut voting in 2020, 2024, and 2028. Get the t-shirt, you get a chance, showcase yourself, and get that message out. No slut voting in 2020. I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report on the go. I'll holler at you later. Peace, peace, peace. Hair grease.